Right, a take two. Let's just go and share the link out again because previous one was no longer applicable. So take that link, put it there. Take two. There we go, and then just forward that to there, and then do it. Can I delete that? And then paste it there. I am streaming right now. There we go. So, all of the admin stuff is done. Yes. Hello. And I'm using a gamepad because my steering wheel, can't find the power supply for it. I can't hear myself over the sound of the music. Please stop. Please. Oh God, I hate this. Right, that's at manageable volume. Okay, drive. So, I've using the gamepad, I can't find the control from a steering wheel, and it's an awful PlayStation 4 controller, and as a consequence, it means it will just start drifting. But anyway, let's go and pick up a new trailer, because it's been more than a year since I last played this game. Did I leave the controller over in... I might have left my controller in a different part of England. Yep. That could possibly be what's happened. So let's just have a look there. You know what, I'm going to go for it, and... These people don't stop, but then again, I'm in Corsica, where they're suffering storms at the moment. Why is my... Okay, for some reason it decided to go into neutral. Oh, come off it, mate. So anyway, I am a real life trucker. I've not had any bumps, because when in real life I can just quite easily turn my head all around. I can look out the window, I can look at the mirrors there, I can look at the curbside mirror, I can look at the Cyclops mirror, I can make adequate observations all around without having to take my hand off the steering wheel to control the mouse, because that's how I'm doing all the looking around. So anyway, I am going to pick up a trailer. It's a tipper body. I've never used a tipper body in real life, but I have used... yes, I have. I was in Cheltenham once, and I was going about 4 miles an hour, very narrow road. Bus driver indicated me to go through. I went past, and my wing mirror knocked his wing mirror. I said sorry to him, and he says it's all right because there's no harm done. Literally, all that happened was his wing mirror, which was metal, pushed my wing mirror, which was plastic, in, and there wasn't even a scratch on the surface. So, and there may or may not have been a car park sign. Again, it's gone out of gear. Oh, it's just like driving on Iveco with more than 10,000 miles on the clock. I've been told, really, you just got to hold on to the gear stick when going at low speed, otherwise it goes out of gear. Because of course it would. So let's just concentrate on this bit here. Yeah, there we go. I'm in. Now, really, I should have engaged the handbrake, or parking brake, whatever. No, engine's off. There it is. And let's go forward, or at least put it into drive. Now you see, I'm not doing that to the steering wheel. That's just the PlayStation 4 drift. So yeah, I knocked over an electric pylon in Somerset. Well done. I'm surprised you're still alive, but I guess that just goes to show. Hang on. For a minute I thought I heard something. I thought I heard my ringtone, but I didn't. So yes, I am a real IRL trucker, a Class 2 one, so I'm not allowed to drive tractors and trailers because I don't have the Class 1 entitlement, just Class 2. I can drive rigid bodies, but this game doesn't have rigid bodies, and this game does not do deployable flatbeds for vehicle recovery, although there are low floored. There are trailers which you could use to, say, do plant where plant hire vehicles are gone. But anyway, let's go and take a contract. So we're going to use our trailer. We're going to go cargo market, which is the external market. You see this bloody drift. It's on the left thumbstick. It's being an absolute spaz. So all I can do is take some excavated soil from Corsica to Spain. Sure, why not? So we'll do that. We'll do a delivery of soil. And park and brake off. And off we go. Making adequate mirror observations all the time. That's why I'm using the virtual mirrors. So I've got mirrors in my corners each side, and I can see that. Yep, that lamppost is okay. I wouldn't have attempted that in real life. I would have gone for a much bigger angle onto the out of the garage. But it's just in this game, because it's so hard to look at traffic, I do things which I wouldn't do in real life. So I think this is the one I'm supposed to exit on. No, it's not. Oh well. And I'm out of gear again. Yeah, okay. So let's carry on. Well, I'll just carry on here. Once I'm on the open road, I'll be able to talk a bit more about it. But I haven't played this game since I passed my test. I passed on October the 7th, 2021, where I satisfied the DVSA that I am competent enough to drive around Swindon. I'm just going to make my wipers go a bit faster. And this is the bit where I definitely look for oncoming traffic. But again, this is not real life, this is a game. And once again, I've gone out of gear. What is this? Why is it go out of gear? That is annoying. Yes, it is, Liz. It's a Hobbit stream, and towards the end, I'll talk about streaming and why I'm not doing it as much. I'm also recording it. It's going to be on the Odyssey thing again. So as long as I'm accelerating, it stays in gear. But then when I stop, I'm really scared about letting go, because it'll go out of gear again. I miss using the steering wheel, but I think I left the power supply in Shaftesbury, and I didn't pick it up. So it's saying I need to go there. Oh, I see, it is there, but I need to go all the way round to get there. But yeah, prior to doing the lorry driving and passing my test, I was playing this game, and I enjoy it because I've always enjoyed driving. It's just I do it IRL now and don't really feel the need to do it as a game anymore. Or I don't get the same enjoyment as I would from doing it a game. And because I put the brake on, of course we're going to go out of gear again. It really is like driving the Ivecos at work. It's like, oh, what's that? You've temporarily stopped? Well, I'm just going to pop out of gear. It's always fun when you're trying to go off from a red light and it pops it back into neutral and people are honking behind you. And it's like, yes, I like holding up traffic. You can't just go to them and explain, look, I'm driving a 6-speed manual and the gearbox in it is buggered because, oh look, it's got 5 figures on the clock. That said, I recently been driving what's been affectionately, I say affectionately, a vehicle in the fleet which is referred to as the Beast. By the way, let me know if the sound of the game is louder than the sound of my voice, because as I'm listening back to it, it sounds really loud. You know what? So I'm not having to shout all the time. What if I just go here, audio, and make the master volume? What if I make it there? And then I noticed I was going into the red briefly, so why don't I just adjust that down a bit, and then I can speak loudly and it doesn't go into the red. Game audio is very distant. So you're hearing it in my you're just hearing what's in my headphones. Let's go to properties and make sure that you are hearing the game audio. So you should be hearing it when I go back into the game now. Yes, I can see the volumes there. Okay. Right. Now bear in mind, I don't have a license to do Class 1 driving, which is what I'm doing here. So I'm just trying to guess, really. So I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to go forward. Let's go forward quite a lot. Give myself all the distance I need. And yeah, we're going to be like that, aren't we? So now put it into reverse. Let's have a look. And yeah, that desktop audio is really bloody loud. So let me just again adjust it down. So I'm looking at the levels and it's outcompeting my voice. All good. Right, there. That should be better. I'm doing this wrong again. So, just again, a reminder, I am a real-life trucker, but what I do is called a rigid-bodied vehicle. Rigid-bodied vehicles, you will see them in quarry sites like this, because 32-ton tipper bodies. But the game doesn't do the world of rigid-bodied stuff. It only simulates Class 1 trucking, which is fine. Because everything, well, I say everything that a rigid body, a tractor and trailer can do. The thing is, the tractor and trailers are all very large. There's no Scamross Scarabs or small tractor trailers anymore. Whereas it used to be in the early days of lorry driving, back before there was purpose-made depots for the lorries to go in, the lorries would have to be going where a horse and cart would have previously gone. So that's why there was this three-wheeler lorry, mind you, called the Scamross Scarab. And the idea behind it is it had a very tight turning circle. I fucked it. Right, let's try that again. And the Scamross Scarab had the turning circle of a horse and cart, which is not something you're going to get with these modern 44 tonners with the, you've got 6 axles there. You've got the 3 in the front. Well, this one has 4 axles because it's for STGO, as it's called. But I'm not doing... Right. So that noise there tells me I've got very low air pressure. So let's try this again then. I am recording this, so I will, because live streams work a bit. They're a bit different on Odyssey. So what I'll be doing is the recording of this will go there, because I doubt I'll have this channel for much longer. It's just, unfortunately, it's the nature of the game. So I can't. Oh, for fuck's sake! Yes, I got low pressure. Great. You know what? I can do this IRL. I can do it, not a problem. But today, especially with the gamepad controller and everything else, I'm really struggling. So I'm not going to do it. I'm really not going to do it. Right, so it's complaining about low air pressure, so I'm just going to increase the idling speed, just to make the air compressor work a bit more. So, there we go. Now the air's compressed. Into gear we go. If you're wondering why you can't go on low air pressure, the reason being very simple. Lorries and trains have fail-safe brakes, so they use air, and in order to lift the brakes from the discs, you have to use air pressure to do it. If you don't have air pressure, yeah, we'll just skip that bit.
Let's do this.
It would help if I had a controller which wasn't making things go fucky all the time. Pardon my French. So, come on, can we go? Yes, we can go. Okay. Right. So yeah, lorries have a fail-safe system. If the air pressure's too low, you can't disengage the brakes, you can't go anywhere. And it's a fail-safe, so if ever there's like a, because of inadequate maintenance or something else has gone wrong, the air compressor's not working, the brakes will apply and you won't be able to go anywhere. So because I kept going back and forth like that, I'd used up all the air pressure. So as you can see, as we're going along, it's always pulling to the left. It is very, very irritating. But I'm glad I've got it in this case, because mounting the curb, that would have been a fail. I've seen truckers IRL do that as well. There's some places where it's too narrow, you have to mount the curb in order to do your job. But anyway, we're going to be on the road soon, so I'm just going to engage the cruise control. Right, so cruise control's on, and that way I don't have to worry about speeding. Oh, that's right, I was complaining about how this disengages the gears when going slow. Just like some of the lorries I've driven in real life, where they like to pop out of gear. There's a lorry I've driven, it's got 100,000 miles on the clock and it's doing that. Whereas opposed to the lorry I'm driving, which I was driving last week, 350,000 miles on the clock, and the gearbox and that was fine. Although everything else on it was wrong, including needing an oil service. So that was fun. I rung up the office and said, well look, the check engine oil lights come on, and now the dashboard's being very insistent, saying headlight usage offence. So what is it saying? I need my lights on? Oh, I've got my main beams on, so let's just, there we go. I've taken the main beams off now, so that should hopefully satisfy the John Dams. And they said, oh no, if the light's flashing you'll be alright, when it goes solid you need to stop. And I said, oh that's great. So I'm based in Oxfordshire and this job was in Peterborough, so it was a taco job. More about that later. I said, right, well I'm 160 miles from base, so I hope it'll get me there, because if not I want a taxi. it got me there. It was all right. They inspected it the day afterwards and gave it the all clear. It's just these lorries have a conservative warning system to say, well, again, oh, I missed my wheel, but again, the wheel needs a power supply, and I reckon I've left the power supply elsewhere. I could always get a new power supply, that would be easier than doing the other thing. So yeah, I am an IRL trucker. I've worked for builders merchants. I've refused jobs doing food delivery because frankly I don't want to do multi-drop on the high streets, delivering to Mr. Abdul Ariman's shop. Sorry, but you can find somebody else to do that job. I'm not that desperate. And I instead have ended up doing vehicle recovery. So that is my current specialty, I suppose. I've gone from dealing with builders, which are always unhappy to see me, even if I'm 3 hours early, and it's like, well, I can take, I can take the sand and concrete back to base, and and it's like, no, we'll offload it now. It's like, yeah, of course you will. So I've gone from dealing with lorry drivers who hate your guts and are never happy to picking up people stranded on the motorway, which is not very nice, actually. I do not really enjoy stopping on the hard shoulder and working with with my head on the tarmac, and a few feet away there's lorries thundering past me at 56 miles an hour. But I tell you what, when you pick someone up, they're always grateful to see you. And occasionally I do have the pleasure of picking up a classic car, and so I can tell you now, I don't like modern cars. Modern cars seem to do all sorts of silly things, like every car I've been in growing up, they've all had handbrakes, and the handbrake is something I understand. It's on the centre console, and it's a lever, and it's got a button on it. You press the button and you pull it up, or you're a silly twat, you don't press the button, you pull it up and it makes that click 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 sound, and you've engaged the handbrake because it's a brake you've operated with your hand. Except modern vehicles, and lorries like this I suppose, they have a flappy paddle, and that engages electric brakes. I don't think it's electric brakes on a lorry. I think it might actually be a cable select system. But anyway, doesn't really matter. Fact is, modern cars and modern vans use electric parking brakes or emergency brakes, and they're god-awful, and if the electric's in the car stopped, well then it won't roll, and you have to use skates and slippery gyms to do that. More about that later. And yeah, I hate modern cars. They're crap, they all look the same, they're boring, they're all grey, because apparently we're not allowed to have coloured vehicles anymore. I don't know, maybe it's racist to have a green or a blue car. And I hate them, and there's nothing I can say to recommend a modern car. There really isn't. A well-maintained classic car. And the thing is, classic car includes anything up to 2007 now. So, as far as I'm concerned, you don't want anything past 2007. They're more than powerful enough. I mean, when you really need something that does 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds. That said, I do drive a Jag, and whilst it doesn't do 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds, it does 20 to 70 in a number of seconds, and it's very fast, and it's fast enough where I'll never be able to use that speed unless I go onto the autobahn. But that's not why I got it. I got it because I've always liked Jags. It's a very nice looking Jag, and it's very quiet. It is luxurious. Oh, look, my fucking gears have disengaged again. Pardon my French. Yeah, that's satisfying. But now, let's refer to previous things. I said about taco jobs. Yes, so taco jobs. Vehicle recovery. Now, it is commercial in the sense that, you know, we're not a charity. If you want me to pick up your vehicle, a fee will have to be arranged, be it with either your breakdown company, your car insurers, the police, or you as a private customer paying me to pick up your car or van. No, wrong. That's what I want. Right, so I've engaged that. Break. Come on. But, however, it's not subject to EU working time directives. And, by the way, all jobs are subject to EU working time directives. That's why if you're working a shift of a minimum of 6 hours, you're entitled to a 20-minute unpaid break. I'm going to signal here because I need this one.
Keep left, and then turn left.
And I'm not going to go through a red light, unlike some of the other drivers, who I shan't name. Good drivers, it's just really they shouldn't be driving with so little sleep. And, okay, they're not good drivers. It really is a miracle, some of these people on the road. But anyway, in the lorry, if you're subject to EU Working Time Directive, you use something called a tachograph, which monitors your times and what you're doing. So when you stop it, it's usually marked as other work, and when you're driving, it automatically goes to driving. And you have to press a button for it to cycle the work mode, so it knows that you're going into bloody gear again. That's really annoying. But hey, at least it stopped raining. It's actually easier to drive IRL than it is in this game. Because, well, IRL would have a proper interface. And I wouldn't have a steering wheel which keeps steering to the left. But we'll ignore all this. So yeah, a tachograph. It's a card. It logs the hours you've done and what you've done in those hours and speeds you've done and such.
Get ready to turn.
If you've been speeding, it's not enforceable. Someone actually, like a policeman, has to be there recording your speed for it to count. So, oh, that's windscreen wipers. I need indicators. Never mind. So yeah, I come under what's called GB domestic rules. So council vehicles also come under GB domestic as well. And as long as I'm operating within a 100-kilometre radius of base, so let's see, that's that. Engine off. And let's go to Spain. So, oh.
I'll find a new route.
Really? Okay. I thought this was where you told me to go. So yeah, as long as I'm operating within 100 kilometres of base, which is 100 kilometres... Oh, you know what? Let's adjust the lights. Let's have the... Bloody hell, can you just behave yourself for 5 seconds, please? Thank you. A little bit frustrated today. Plus, it doesn't help that I haven't been eating because I've been to the bloody dentist. Right, so let's go around, back onto the ferry.
Recomputing. Turn left.
So, right, onto a ferry. Now, GB domestic rules. What are they? As long as I'm within 62 miles of base, so then I go to Barcelona. Yeah. That's right, you dickhead.
Finding new route.
I don't have to use a taco card, and that means I can be driving for...
Turn right.
What? That's brake. Okay. And yeah, so I can actually drive for more than the 9 hours in a day. So most of the drivers,
Second exit.
they're reluctant to do taco jobs because they're like, oh, well then I'm on the clock and I can only do 10 hours in a day. It's like, no, you dickhead.
Right.
You can only drive 9 hours in a day. Then you got to take another 45-minute break and you got to decide to yourself, right, do I drive for another hour? Or do I say, that's it, that's my driving done?
Exit now.
So I'm quite happy to do a taco job, as it means I've got to have my breaks. I can't be harassed when I'm having the breaks. I can't be doing other work in my breaks, like a walk round check. It literally, when I do my taco break, I take the keys out of the ignition, I sit in the passenger seat, or lie down in the passenger seat, and I don't do anything for 45 minutes. Maybe I'll eat a sandwich. That's about the extent of what I'll do.
Take the first exit.
And so I'm happy doing a taco job because it means I'm on the clock, and after 9 hours of driving, 10 hours at driver's discretion, that sound means that the gears aren't engaged. You know what? I'm going to uninstall this after I'm done. When I've done this delivery, that's it. Uninstall. Throw this controller in the bin. And this is actually worse than the Iveco at work. If I was doing 30 kilometers an hour, which is what, 15 miles an hour, it would stay in gear. It's only when it's going less than 3 does it pop out. So that is bloody annoying. But anyway, I'm on a motorway now, so I can do 90. So yeah, I like doing taco jobs because it means I'm on the clock, and I can only do 9 hours in the day, 10 hours of driving at driver's discretion. It doesn't mean you can only work 9 hours a day, it just means you can only drive 9 hours in a day, because after all, other work, such as loading and unloading the vehicle, that's work, but it's not driving, so it counts as other work. So now, let's engage the cruise control. And of course, this has got a bloody turbo whine. Mind you, all lorries are turbocharged because it allows them to be more efficient. So I do vehicle recovery. And what that means is, if a vehicle's broken down, if it can't go on its own steam, or if it's being re-delivered somewhere, I will pick the vehicle up, I will drive it onto a flatbed which I've deployed onto a keep left, right, okay. By the way, again, I'm having to fight the controller because it just occasionally is like, oh, I'm going to do this now. It's like, yeah, and it's doing it again now. So I deploy a flatbed, I roll or I winch a vehicle onto it, and if the vehicle can't be winched because the wheels are locked, I use what are called slippery jims and skates. So slippery jims, what kind of control I'm using? A PlayStation 4 controller with the drifting left thumbstick. Oh, and the bloody thing's gone out of gear again, you bastard! Oh, that pisses me off. You fucker.
Keep left.
Pardon my French. Oh no, if you swear in a fucking stream, you get demonetised. Well, there's no chance of being me monetised in the first place, was there? I'm going to be talking about why I'm not streaming anymore after this. But, yeah. So what's it? Yeah, I deploy a flatbed, roll it on, or winch it on. If it can't be winched on, I use slippery jims. They are these nylon wedges, and you hit them with a hammer until you have separated the wheels from the tarmac. So imagine a wedge that goes between your wheels and the road, and that's what I use. And you hit it with a sledgehammer. You don't have to hit it very hard, by the way. You just keep doing gentle taps and.
Please mind the speed limit.
Right, so the speed's got to bring it down. Right. Yeah, okay, so... Right, which one's for lorries? Well, this one's green. Oh, this one's just an automatic, is it? Is it going to go? It's going to go, yep. And skates, well, skates are like they're also known as dollies. You use a jack to lift the vehicle up. You put the skate underneath one of the locked up wheels, and then you release the jack, and then you can winch it on. Well, often as you winch it on, because the skates go everywhere, you have to actually shove the vehicle using your own body to make sure it stays onto the flatbed. And then you winch it on. If it's locked up and if you've had to like lift all four wheels from the ground, there's no point using the handbrake. So I'm just going to engage the cruise control again.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Again, I'm apologising for the shit drive. You see that? That sudden little jerk like that? My thumb's not on the stick. So I'm not... Fuck me. Okay, I actually have to put my thumb back on the stick again. Yeah. If I was driving a lorry in real life and the steering wheel was like that, I wouldn't take it out of the yard. I would drive it, if possible, to the mechanic and say, she's fucked, mate. There's no way I can take this on the road. But yeah. So once the vehicle's loaded onto the flatbed, you use straps on all four of the wheels. You strap it down, you put the handbrake on, and
Right, and then exit right.
what? Okay, so it wants me to take this exit here.
Exit right.
Okay, let's just concentrate on it. And yeah, so in addition to the four straps and the handbrake, you also use the winch. But you have to winch with some slack, because as the vehicle bounces around, it could damage the vehicle. So you just have it slack as a bit of insurance, just in case the handbrake and all four of your straps fail. You've also got this additional thing. So you'd use the towing eye, and you'd also use what's called a half strap. A half strap is something which you put on the vehicle subframe assembly, or the drive axle if you can't access the subframe assembly.
Please mind the speed.
Oh, bloody hell. That was good, wasn't it? I want it to go in reverse, but I'm pressing the button for reverse and it's not bloody reversing. Right, now, let's attempt this and I'll talk more about strapping a vehicle. If my controller will behave itself, which it's not going to. This really is absolute dog shit. So yeah, you do that and you use a half strap, and what your half strap's on the thing, it's on the subframe assembly or a drive axle. Drive axle? It's on either a wheel axle or a subframe assembly, and that is extra insurance in case something's wrong with the rear.
Right.
Yeah, this game likes to do a thing where you're on the roundabout and the AI doesn't understand that you're on it,
Exit now.
so maybe they should wait. Because I think in Europe now, priority on the right is just not done. If you're on the roundabout, then you have priority.
Please mind the speed.
Oh, not falling for that twice. Right, so let's go into this one. Oh look, they do have rigid-bodied vehicles in this. That would be a, what, 12-tonner, 18-tonner? But the thing is, that really is it's unnecessary. It's what you do if you're being really like strict, or if you've got like a beautiful Ferrari, which I had the other day, which was worth £500,000. So, oh yeah, you do absolutely everything. But I was told on the motorway, if you've got the vehicle on the flatbed and you've got one strap on it, it's secure, it's not going to go anywhere. So on the motorway, I will often just have 3 straps on the vehicle, and let me try and explain that. So imagine you're on the hard shoulder
Keep right.
and you've got the near side of the vehicle, which is the side which is facing the verge, and you've got the far side of the vehicle, which is the driver's side. So on the near side, it's fairly safe to do both the front and the rear straps on the vehicle you're covering. But as you go on to the... Oh, it wants me to do 60 here. Right, so let's just retreat the speed back to retard the speed a little bit. So yeah,
Caution.
you can do the near side straps easily enough. On the far side, which is facing lane 1 of the motorway, you can do the rear strap on the vehicle, and you can keep an eye out for oncoming traffic, because often they will go, oh, it's somebody on the hard shoulder, I'm not going to... And it's somebody with beacons on, and they're doing a recovery, why should I bother going into lane 2? I'll be alright, it doesn't really matter. It's not as if I'm going to fling up debris going at 56 miles an hour, which could disembowel that man. So, if you're doing the rear strap, you've got the chance to actually run out of the way if there's imminent danger. But if you're trying to do the strap which is in the middle of the lorry, on the far side, and you see imminent danger, well, you can't run towards it because you'll die quicker, and running away from it, you can't really do it because you're in the middle of the vehicle, and you can't go underneath the lorry as well because of the side skirts, which are designed to prevent pedestrians and cyclists from going underneath the lorry. So there's nowhere to run to if you're in danger, and that's why on the motorway you just do 3 straps, or you just do 2 straps. You put the handbrake on, you take it to the nearest safe place, like if it's one of those motorways or the refuge area, you park in there, and that's where you can do the other 2 straps. So yeah, and the thing is, I always say to myself, well, on a ferry, when you're parked up on it, even in rough choppy seas, there's no straps holding you down. It's just the handbrake, and that's it. I've been in some really choppy seas.
Keep left.
My car's not moved an inch in the thing. That said, I have had a Range Rover on the back of my lorry. I was going on some bumps on the dual carriageway, and I noticed this banging sound, and the load of the vehicle had shifted. So I pulled over, I readjusted the straps, and I noticed it wasn't going to bounce over the lip of the flatbed, because there's a raised lip of about 3 inches. But suffice to say, I took it to the nearest services, and just for my own peace of mind, I rolled it off and I rolled it back onto the lorry. And that was that's the one thing which I don't really enjoy about the job. Again, you're the driver, you're responsible for the payload, and it doesn't matter what the payload is. You've got to, make sure it gets to your destination in one piece. And you certainly don't want any debris flying on the road, because that creates a lethal hazard, especially for people like myself who happen to be on the motorway because we're required to be there. So I'm quite conscious of that. But the thing which I don't like about the job is also the thing I like about the job. The payloads we're dealing with are really precious. Like, they're worth 5 figures, and sometimes, in the case of that Ferrari and the Mercedes I picked up the other day, they're worth 6 figures. So it's not like, oh, I've spilt a bag of sand or some cement. Well, never mind. That will just be written into the builders merchants, losses. if you spill a one-of-a-kind car off the back of your lorry, well, yeah, the insurance is going to pay out for it, but you're not going to be doing that job any longer. So there is that, but at the same time, in terms of like, especially compared to multi-drop work, it's pretty easy as lorry driving jobs go. My shift is from 10 till 10 and it's 4 days on, 4 days off. Right, so I really don't want to do this driving for much longer. How many more miles have I got to do? I've got another 44 kilometres to go. Good, because I don't want to be doing this much longer. You're all stopped for no good reason, so I'm just going to carry on.
Please mind the speed.
Oh, what? We're all stopping because... Oh, okay. This is an absolute bastard. If that's really like what it is like in Spain with those, I'm going to have to bear that in mind, because the toll roads in France and Germany and what have you, they don't do that. Excuse me. So yeah, I've been doing this IRL, and when I get home, I don't really feel like playing games much, because I've got lots of money. So I bought a Jag, and I've been driving around in the Jag in real life, which is a lot more enjoyable than using this poxy controller which keeps steering to the bloody left. And it's very comfortable in the Jag. It's more comfortable than this office chair I'm sat on, the one which I reupholstered. Now, as for streaming, so as you noticed, I haven't been streaming for a while. I kept getting strikes. YouTube is becoming an increasingly hostile place. It's not fun anymore. I don't like Susan. You shouldn't have women running things, because when you do, it just ends in tears. Plus Susan, you know, she doesn't like Europeans very much. I think it's safe to say that. So YouTube is not a fun place to be on anymore. I don't really enjoy it. Odyssey is, I suppose, it's okay. I mean, I'm a bit sort of like new to Odyssey, so I don't really understand live streaming, and when I've done a stream, I don't know if it saves it or not. So that's why I'm doing a recording of this, so I can just upload it there, and uploading there is simple, but streaming's difficult. So the other thing which really bothers me with this, I might even get a copyright strike for this video, because the picture I used is copyrighted. It's from a famous incident where it's a funny incident, because it's a Royal Mail lorry, and I know someone who's in Royal Mail, so of course we're all joking, saying, did you crash into Top Gear's Jack Evans' car and sideswipe him on the motorway, until Britain First Emma Goulding had to pull you over and say, did you know there's a car in front of your lorry? Which is a bit weird, because look, we got these things called Cyclops mirrors in lorries, and Cyclops mirrors allow you to see what's immediately in front of your vehicle, which is very good for when you're trying to do a nasty... have I missed...
I'll find it.
Right, I'm doing something which you definitely do not do IRL at all, ever. I've never done this once. Right? Especially not with a bloody trailer. You know what? I can't do it, so I'll just have to... Well, we'll just have to actually just drive normally. But yes, I was going to reverse on the motorway. It's just with this controller constantly steering to the left, I can't do reversing manoeuvres. It's too bloody complicated. So yeah, I don't like streaming on YouTube anymore. Anytime I talk like a normal human being, like I do in real life, oh my god! I mean, if you heard the banter which I hear in the yard, I mean that would be permanent content community strike. So you can't talk like a real human being on YouTube. You have to be very careful of what you say. and it's completely artificial, and I hate it. And it's no longer YouTube; it's corporate tube, and I feel like content creators like myself are just being bullied off the platform. And it's like everywhere where women are in control, they just absolutely ruin the place. They police what you can say, your language. The banter just dies, and then people don't really feel like talking anymore. So the place just dies, and then people move on, and they go, let's set up another company with men only. And it's like, oh yeah, but my wife can work here. I mean, she needs a place to work. And it's like you let a few women in, and then eventually it just turns to shit again. Or unless you manage to find a balance where you keep the women in the reception or a switchboard. So, and then you don't have them there. We do have a woman at the work, and she is a tomboy, and her banter is worse than the men's. She is overcompensating, and I like it because it's almost as if I understand. It's like, yes, I understand I'm in men's domain here, and therefore I am one of the lads. So that is the thing. But this is the problem. YouTube is not a place for the lads anymore, and it's not fun. And so really, I don't see the point in doing streams anymore. Keep left, okay then. Because what's the point? I'll do a stream, and then like a few months later, or sometimes even a year later, there's like hate speech, cyberbullying, harassment. And it's just like, mate, it's banter.
Keep right, and then exit right.
It's literally like these are the sorts of conversations I've been subject to and participated in my entire life. But you're telling me that the way the discourse that men do, especially my peers, is invalid, and it's not welcome on this platform anymore. So it's like, well, alright, if I'm not welcome on this platform anymore, I don't feel like contributing to it anymore, and I'll just take my music and go elsewhere. Because I mean, that's the thing of real value. And it wants me to go left. Okay, so that's the left signal. Oh, and of course you put your brake on, that means you want to go into bloody neutral, don't you? Hang on. Let me try an experiment. Right, so I'm in gear now. I'm going to engage the left indicator. Right, that has taken... So when I use the indicators, that stops it. Right. There must be some sort of conflict with, like, using both the same buttons for indicating and gear, so I'm just not going to use indicators from now on. So yeah, I could go on Odyssey. I probably will. I know, like, some of my friends are on Odyssey now. Some people, they use other platforms like DLive or Post streaming, whatever. But Odyssey seems to be pretty good. I think I'll carry on with that from now on. And so I'm going to be re-uploading this video there. And I think, just to err on the side of caution, I am going to make this video private once the stream is done.
Keep left.
Because of course I besmirch the glorious name of El Capitan, Susan, and called her a bitch. And I think that is a sackable offence from YouTube HQ. But she is. And her aggressive AI policy means you can't have fun anymore. Because, like, something I wanted to do the other day was, I wanted to use, I was going to do this clip. What was it now? The clip was going to probably be from Babylon 5 or Star Trek or something. But then, replacing... That was it. I was going to do a video about... it was going to use the Lord of the Rings music where they're in the two towers and those orcs are being pulled out of the mud and they're doing this thing. You know, that sort of very like dark and somber music. I was going to use that. And what was the clip I was going to put on top of it to suggest that this is bad? There was something. Was it just like some fat woman twerking? That was it. Black ballet, and just have that music on it. But again, I wouldn't be able to do that because you're using 2 bits of copyrighted content. And never mind fair use policies because you're using it for parody or educational purposes and what have you. There is no such thing as fair use policy in this godforsaken house site anymore. So I can't do fun things like that anymore. In fact, my last YouTube channel, it got taken off for a 4-second clip, which was just from this show called Golden Boy Quintero, and I really got salty about that because it's like, well, look, I spent a lot of time doing this clip and it was very funny,
At the roundabout,
but then I got
take
banned.
the first exit. Keep right.
So I don't really like the modern internet. It's much like modern cars. They're crap and they're designed for people that want their asses wiped because they're scared of real world interactions and, oh, well, if my feelings get hurt, well, we can't have that. We'll make it a criminal offence for your feelings have to be hurt. What about me saying I'm offended by the way things have changed and, you know, it offends me that the hate speech is a criminal offence and I find the police's Stasi tactics offensive. Well, where's my remedy? Where's my satisfaction going to be? It's not going to be done. It's basically, I'm being told in modern society, fuck you, this is not for you. So this is why I feel like, right, I'm just going to check out. I'm going to live in the 20th century. I'm going to go into oncoming vehicles. And I'm just not going to participate in it. I don't want to jump to your hoops. I'm not going to. Fuck you. I'm not going to do what you tell me. Right. So let's have a go at this. And if I can't do it, I'll just give up. I could do this IRL. Easily do this IRL. Rocket-a-thon is a protected category. The JDF respecting channel will never be banned. I don't even know if I have the login credentials for that anymore. But yeah, the Rocket-a-thon that was a lot of fun. You know, we're all Tommy Robinson, Mossad, JIDF respecters on that channel. Kickstart my heart, da 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 da. Rocket-a-thon 2021. I think I've gone a bit too much on this, so let's just go a bit forward. But that was a lot of fun, that Rocket-a-thon. I did enjoy that. But that was sort of time in the end, because it's like, look, I'm trying to have fun, but every time I have fun, I get banned. And all my friends who did fun stuff, they get banned as well. So it's like all the cool clips from 2015, just can't do it. Just can't be done anymore, and it is very sad. I don't like this world. I think it's a bit shit, and it makes I'm sad and unhappy. And you know what? I say that is done. It's going to be offloaded in that bay, mate. If you don't want it, fuck you. So there we go. I've now delivered some soil from Corsica to Spain. That's my stream. Thank you very much for watching. Fuck Susan Wojcicki. 9/11 was inside job. Jews did 9/11. Goodbye.